Hello everybody, welcome back to my book club. I'm not actually doing a book review today because what I want to do for my next book review is to review the entire trilogy, the entire Crazy Rich Asians trilogy. And I just got done reading the second book from the trilogy, so by the time I get done with the third one, I'll be ready to do another book review. But what I wanted to do today was just kind of mention something that I hear all the time, especially as a teacher. I get this, I bet once a week. I just don't like to read. So I get that a lot, and I actually heard somebody say that today. And they said, I don't care if I have to write this paper, but I don't want to read a book. I don't like to read books. And if you have ever told me this before, if you're one of my students, and you've ever told me this before, you know that my response is always, then you haven't found the right book yet. I am a big believer that there's a book out there for everybody. You just have to find the one that you're interested in. And something else that I like to tell people is that you don't have to finish the book that you started. So a lot of times I feel like people get a book, either they buy it or they borrow it or they get it from the library, and they think that because they have it, they have to finish it even if they don't like it. That's completely the wrong way to look at reading. If you pick something up and you're halfway through it and you are just not invested in the book at all, you just don't like it, it doesn't connect with you, pick a different book. I feel like a lot of times people think that they're going to offend the librarian if they bring the book back and they haven't finished it. They don't care. You know, if you take a book off of my shelf and you bring it back because you didn't like it, but you gave it a fair chance, then I'm not going to blame you for that. I'd rather have you look into it, read a couple of chapters. If you're like, nah, it's not for me, put it back. Find something else to read. I have two examples of when I did that just recently. So the first one is if you have watched my videos before, you'll know that I did a review on The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and I really liked this book. It was super good. It's very large, and it didn't take me very long because I liked it. So I read it really quickly. And actually, what I didn't mention when I was reviewing this book is that I put down another book so that I could read it. I was reading this book. It's called The Rules of Magic. And it was fine. But when I got this book, I was super excited about it. So I put this one down. Did I hate this book? No. I just wasn't as excited about it as I am about this one. Will I ever go back to this book? Probably. But I wanted to read this one first. Because I knew that if I was going to start reading this book, or if I was going to have this book in my possession and still be reading this one, I was not going to pay attention to this book. I was not going to give it the justice that it needs. So I started reading this one instead. Have I finished this one yet? No. But I might. Or I probably will. Eventually. The second one that I have an example of is actually kind of relevant because when I was hearing all of this hype around Crazy Rich Asians, the movie, I was like, okay, I obviously have to get the book. And I don't actually have the book on me because I lent it to a friend, but I do have the second book, which is China Rich Girlfriend. But anyways, I only bought the first book because I was like, you know what? If I like the book, I can always buy the other two. But if I don't like the book, I don't want to buy the other two. So I bought the first book and I really liked it. So then I bought the other two books. But problem was, what was I going to read in the meantime? It was going to take like a few days for me to get these books. So I picked up this other book that I had purchased. It's called Next Year in Havana. And I started reading it. You can see I still have my bookmark in there. I didn't get super far, but then this book came. Did I like this book? Yeah, it's fine. Am I gonna finish it? Probably. But this book came, and I really wanted to read this book, and I really liked this book. So I started reading this book. So I put this one down. Does that mean I'm like a horrible person because I didn't finish those two books from before, these two? I hope not. But, moral of the story. Just because you're not into a book, it doesn't mean that you don't like reading. It just means that you need to find a new book. So give it a chance. Find something that you actually like. Before you say that you hate reading, do some more exploring. I can't tell you how long it takes me to pick out a book. It takes forever. I'm kind of picky. But if you take the time to do it, I think you're going to find something that you actually like. Don't let me down.